Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Edmonton. My name's Karen Mills. I'm pleased to welcome you this morning. In normal times when we could gather together in person, Gordon Ritchie and I are the co-directors of Chalice, the choir of the Unitarian Church of Edmonton. And Gordon and I will be co-hosting this morning's service. It's always one of our favorite services to put together, a Taize-style service in sort of the late winter, early spring. And this morning we seem to have a bit of both seasons. And I'm actually quite glad for the fluffy April showers that we got last night, because it gives a very cozy feeling to what we hope is going to be a very cozy service. And so the Taize-style, I'll just tell you a little bit about for anyone who's new to it. Taize is a little village in the south of Burgundy, France. And in this village 80 years ago, Brother Roger, a monk, founded a community devoted to prayer and a living parable of reconciliation within the church and the human family. And the community is still running and is made up of brothers from all the continents and major denominations who gather together 3 times a day, 7 days a week throughout the year to pray. And what distinguishes Taize prayer is both repetition and silence. But while this isn't really different from a lot of other prayer, what's unique to the prayer of Taize is the adaptation of the repetitive forms to simple music. And that music is designed to be sung by everyone assembled in a variety of languages, by all denominations. And the assembly is designed to immerse itself in these simple, repetitive lines, almost like a sung meditation. And silence is really, really important in a Taize service. And during the service, there are going to be periods of silence, and maintaining the silence isn't necessarily a technique or a method to communicate with some sort of deity. It's simply holding ourselves in a presence of peacefulness and stillness. Brother Roger sought to add prayerful element to music and a musical element to prayer, and believed in the old saying that those who sing pray twice. And so that's what we'll try to do this morning. And to start our service off, I would invite Brandy Muller-Reed to do our land acknowledgement.
Good morning, everybody. The Unitarian Church of Edmonton gathers with gratitude on Treaty 6 land. A treaty is an inheritance, a responsibility, and a relationship. May we be good neighbors to one another, good stewards to our planet, and good ancestors to all of our children. The Dene ward is in northeast Edmonton. The word means people of land and water and refers to various tribes and people, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, that settled along the North Saskatchewan River.
Thank you. Our opening words this morning are Transfiguring Love by Roush. Deeper than DNA, more fundamental than molecules or quarks, at our living core, we are wholeness and transfiguring love. We often forget that power, becoming lonely or resentful, comparing ourselves to others, acting out of our fears rather than living our glory. Occasionally, we rouse ourselves from our trance to remember our wholeness. For a time, we embody unsentimental love. We make efforts to wake others and to remain fully present ourselves. Our lives and our time here together are made sacred by our striving. For the next 60 minutes and for the rest of our lives, may we be more aware of the spirit of life evolving through and among us. So may we be. And I invite Bobby Killian to share words as we light our chalice.
The Symbol of Shared Faith by Stephan Dodenhoff. Joy and grief, health and sickness, light and darkness, peace and anger, life and death, wholeness and brokenness. We each bring all of these here to this sanctuary of unity in diversity for this 1 hour of this one day and pour them out, commingling with the oil of our lives, become the flame of this chalice, the symbol of our shared living faith.
Thank you, Bobby and Brandy. Now I invite you all to join in our first hymn, De Noche. The words will appear on the screen. They are just short words, very repetitive. Coriolis folks, you know them. If you'd like to join in, please do on mute. If you'd like to use this just as a meditative time, that's perfectly fine too. I invite you to now prepare for a time of meditation with your backs supported and your hearts open. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Breathe deeply and relax. Sun cuts through trees, casting shadows of the trunks on a woodland floor with a lake in the distance. In the unity of the Spirit, in the sanctity of this gathering, let us quiet ourselves as we settle into a meditative moment, a time when we can each listen to that still, small voice within. All our souls speak to us if we trust ourselves to hear them. What do they tell us today in this very season? Whether our innermost yearnings find voice in a sincere intention, a prayer, a scripture, a profound lament, or sudden insight, we honor those. We stay present to the wisdom that arises within us, and we welcome whatever arrives, be it bidden or unbidden. We find rest in our calm center, that secure core of our being, which houses our surest sense of the holy, and we allow ourselves to know consolation. We grow mindful ever mindful not only of ourselves, but also of those dear to us, those in our midst, those absent today, those held close in memory, and those in distant places. Feeling ourselves enfolded in loving kindness that is everywhere abiding, together, let us now enter into sacred silence. Emerging from the silence, we see that we are still together. We notice the gratitude that we feel in our hearts today, and we do not fail to rejoice. We are blessed by this present company and this special time we have set aside. We give thanks for this moment of respite and for every tender mercy we have known in our lives and through the ages. Please join now in our second hymn, Laudate, turbe.
Our next text is entitled Litany for Becoming, and there is a response. Karen will lead you in the response. You will hear her say, we say together, and we invite you to repeat by saying, this is loving and being loved. To become is a lifelong process. Nothing is constant, not even the self. We evolve in the midst of narratives meant only for some and ways of being made narrow by fear and power. We must then have the courage to listen to the truth of our own lives, to the wisdom that comes from within, responding without resistance or need to control, but with welcome and curiosity. This is what ensures our becoming is an unfolding of our truest self. This lifelong labor cannot be carried out alone. It requires help from friends and lovers, family, creaturely companions who bear witness to what makes us come alive and say to us, look, listen, feel, pay attention to that.
And we say together, this is loving and being loved.
Telling the stories, sharing in the memories, giving thanks for the relationships, understandings, and experiences past that have shaped us to this day.
We say together, this is loving and being loved.
Creating new beginnings that excite, holding risks together, leaning into unknowns with the promises of support and companionship.
We say together, this is loving and being loved.
Listening to the future, caring uniquely, calling uniquely to each of us in the midst of all of life's noise. Helping one another find our place in the shared labor of collected life. Supporting each other in what it is the world's ache is asking from us.
We say together, this is loving and being loved.
To say for the first time, this is who I am. This is the truth of my body. This is what I know about myself. This is my name, and this is where my path is leading me. And to have it heard, have it received, have it affirmed, and then to say it again and again as we change, as the world changes, and to have each proclamation greeted with an opened arm embrace.
We say together, this is loving and being loved.
There is no me without you. We shape one another. The sacred that birthed us weaves our lives together so that we can only find ourselves through shared becoming. For my journey and all its winding ways, for yours. For all the saints who labored for what is, all the kin whose lives made ours possible, for all those yet to come for whom living our truths today will mean breaking possibilities open for them tomorrow. We pause. We give thanks. We acknowledge.
And we say together, this is loving and being loved.
Within our darkest nights, we kindle a flame that never dies. Please join us in our next Taize hymn. To the weaver of molecules, the spinner of stars, the impulse that gives birth to the universe, to the earth, to me. In the deepest, darkest night of my withered soul, I wrap myself in the blanket of my sadness and grief, pain and suffering, doubts and concerns, fears and questions, and look out from my wandering eyes toward the light that dares to penetrate the layers of blindness that surround me. So obscured is my vision because of my trials and tribulations of this life, that it is your fractal rays of possibility and hope that I seek to inspire me to emerge from this cocoon that holds me. Each luminescent ray of love and hope and possibility is that catalyst which I need to transform my thoughts and emotions into fuel for that inner fire which will dispel the darkness of my night, which will help me to see more clearly the embers of love and hope and possibility that dwell within me. I long to be filled with renewed energy and strength to thrust new life into these wings of my rebirth. The fragile fragrance of my life, the ingredients of the alchemist's hand, to create a new energetic substance to course through my veins. This womb of my becoming has been one of struggle and transformation. I was never meant to remain in this confinement of darkness. I was created to dwell in the light, the infinite light. To the weaver of molecules, the spinner of stars, the impulse that gives birth to the universe, to the earth, to me. In the deepest, darkest night of my withered soul, I shall look through the window of my expectant eyes toward the source of my being, waiting as I do for your alchemist's hand to create within me the change that is necessary for the season of my rebirth. I was never meant to remain in this confinement of darkness. I was created to dwell in the infinite light. Spring will come again. This I know. And I will be ready for my emergence and unfolding, that I might soar ever higher into my own becoming, into the light of my own transcendence. Reawakened, renewed, reborn. Amen, and blessed be.
Part of being in community is sharing our celebrations and our sorrows, our concerns and our joys. And we'd invite you to take time to do that now. If you have something that you would like to share with the community, please type it into the chat. If you have something that you would not want to be included in the recorded service that's posted, please just start your post with the word private. As we share our concerns and our joys, we'll have some background music and then take a moment to close before we continue with our service.
Generosity is a spiritual practice, one that enlarges the heart and lightens the spirit. For no matter how much or how little we have, in the sharing of it, both the one who gives and the one who receives are blessed. We are a self-governing and self-supporting community. We rely on your donations and support of our staff and to offer our programs. Now more than ever, we need your financial support. Please visit our website at uce.ca and click on Donate in the upper left corner to find the donation method that best suits you. For the month of April, we encourage you to also support the UUA office at the United Nations. Please visit our website for more information about these. You will find a link to the UU@UN webpage on our church homepage at uce.ca. Now with mics muted, please join in singing hymn number 402, From You I Receive.
Maybe before we do that, though, we had a song scheduled to close the candles, and I think that's on our next slide, so we'll sing that first. It's actually called Becoming. And this is sung by the choir leader and a song leader at the Unitarian Church of Montreal, Eleuthera Dacona Lippert. The words will be printed, but there's simply a repetition. It's very much like the loving kindness hymn that we have that starts out with I, and then you, and then we, as the ripples of intent move larger and larger. So I invite you all to join in singing that now.
We
So as previously mentioned, oh yes, this is me. Thank you for your patience and understanding. I'll say this again. We thank you for your generosity. I would, especially at this time, like to express my own personal thanks for all those individuals who make these services possible. There is an incredible amount of work and time and effort that goes into putting these services together. It's very, very different, as I'm sure you can imagine from our live services, the technical information and wherewithal that needs to go into these services for me is quite extraordinary, especially being one who is not technically minded, as has just been made obvious. So we certainly support all of them and thank them for all of their time. It is really important for us to maintain this support and financial support, but also the time within our community. So we encourage you to make sure that you have your pledges in, that you're supporting not only the church, but also our larger community. And as I mentioned, this month, the UUA office at the United Nations. So let's join in singing from, what are we singing? Oh dear, from you I receive. Our final Taize hymn is Laudate, omnes gentes. It is a song of praise and celebration. With mics muted, I would invite you to join in singing Laudate, omnes gentes. I would like to invite Bobby to read our closing words.
Much of Ministry is a Benediction by Susan Manker-Seal. Much of ministry is a benediction, a speaking well of each other and the world, a speaking well of what we value, honesty, love, forgiveness, trust, a speaking well of our efforts, a speaking well of our dreams. This is how we celebrate life, through speaking well of it, living the benediction, and becoming as a word well spoken.
Thank you, Bobby. As our chalice is extinguished, I'll leave you with these words by Maureen Killoran. Holy are the places of becoming, the places of clear vision, where life and world are intertwined and we can see forever in this moment and give thanks. Holy are the places of becoming. Let us join in singing our closing song, Carry the Flame.
Thank you for joining on our service this morning. We hope that it was a chance for you to rest and replenish a little bit. And now we'll give you a moment to replenish in a different way, your coffee, your water, whatever you need, as we take time for a few announcements from our community and then come back for a time of conversation. So I think Gordon and I will stay in the main room if you'd like to talk about the service or just have general conversation, or Gloria will also assign breakout rooms. So we'll take just a couple minutes to heat up that coffee or tea or water and come back for some conversation.